30-plus years watching, covering the NBA, I have never seen what just happened in Boston. And I thought about it. I thought about it this morning. I've never seen this. A world champion starts a series at home, heavily favored both games, has 20-point leads in both games, and not only loses, had no guts at the end. The champ's supposed to have a champion's confidence. I find the Celtics, honestly, after last night, hard to root for. All they are now is a math formula. 3-pointers regardless. And last night, to me, was not just a win for the Knicks. It was a win for Manalytics, which is my term. It's a little analytics, but it's about men and resilience and grit and toughness and not being nervous Nelly in the clutch. This isn't just about the Celtics. Mikal Bridges and OG on the wing are dudes. Brunson and Josh Hart, classic Villanova overachievers who, again, are never rattled in the moment. They're playing, the double big lineup. This is not just about the Celtics, but they are the world champions, so that's the primary focus today. And I know what I said. The Knicks are not going to win another game. I know it. But watching the Celtics collapse, you know what I thought about? The math nerds will not take over our sport. The basketball gods are pushing back. Wall Street, AI, tech, it's all being taken over by analytics. Can we just have our basketball? Boston missed 75 threes in the last 2 games. By the way, 11 for 11 on dunks. How about a few more of those? I found myself at the end sort of enjoying the collapse. These scrappy, tough, resilient, stayed in college Villanova guys, and that's what the Knicks are. They're Villanova professionally. And ironically, the only bucket the Celtics hit in the last 8 minutes at home with a deeper, better roster was a dunk. Remember those? Used to have those. That was it. So when they went away from analytics, they actually scored. So Boston completely earned last night. And again, you got to give New York credit. And I think it's a real thing. There's a term in the NBA, Villanova guys. Bridges and Brunson and Hart, they stay in school. They had to play defense, mostly from the Northeast. Tough guys, been around big cities, recruited out of D.C. It could be New York. It could be Boston. They're never afraid of the moment. And so let's not just hammer on the Celtics. A lot of this is just the Knicks being a team that never quits. I mean, the Villanova with Jay Wright, they didn't have 5-star guys. They had 3-star guys. Calipari had the 5-star guys, the one-and-done guys. So, sometimes I'm sitting there watching it. I always said playoff basketball, to me, has always been one thing. Actually, 2 things, but one thing really. Get a bucket, get a stop. That's really it. We talked about this yesterday. The crowd's going crazy. New York, just go get a bucket. Maybe it's 2 free throws. Go get a bucket, go get a stop. And it's like sometimes watching the Celtics and all their analytics go down the drain. It's like sometimes it is funny to watch the math nerd get his pants pulled down. And that's what happened last night. That's what happened last night. And I'm going to say this. Give the Knicks credit, and I don't use this term much. That is an all-time choke. I'll give you one. I'll give you the first game because you dominated the Knicks all year. You got sloppy, and the Knicks are a good team. I'll give you the first. That's not a choke. You lost a lead. It's a little embarrassing. Last night's a choke. That is a full-on choke. This team, by the way, Boston, 11 for 11 on dunk attempts. You want to try those. The closer they get to the basket, the more they make their shots. Here was Josh Hart after.
I don't think we even know what we're capable of. I think we have to continue to build. I think we have to put together a full game, and I think that's something that we haven't done during the course of this playoffs. Continuing to get better. No one else is worried about that, right? And figuring out a way to put together a full 48-minute game.
So let's now focus on Jayson Tatum. Can we finally put this to bed? He's the face of the league. Thank God we can stop arguing about that. But remember this. Do you remember during the Olympics when Steve Kerr, I don't know, I think he knows a little more basketball than me and you. Steve Kerr wouldn't play Tatum. And Boston Southie was really upset. Chowda, what is wrong with Kerr? He knows more basketball than you, Sully. He does. And they wouldn't play him. And this is why. Ability without aggression. He wanted closers. If you can't play for Boston in clutch moments, you're not going to play for the country. This is what Steve Kerr saw. 2 of his last 3 shots were fallaways. Because I think at his core, he has to be convinced to be aggressive. There was a moment at the end of the game when Tatum drove in, 18 seconds left, gave Boston a lead, dunked it. And my reaction was, whoa, well, that was aggressive. Because he never does that. I mean, it was like, oh, wow, it was off-brand. I mean, he's 6'8", long and athletic, can beat guys off the dribble all night. Do it. Last night was somebody swatting chalk out of Goodwill Hunting's hand. And Tatum is really what's ironic here, juxtaposed with Brunson. He's the anti-Brunson. Brunson is work boots. And Tatum is leather loafers. And if it's a little drizzly outside, best not wear them. I'm serious. Everything about Tatum. Tatum gets anxious. He looks a little nervous. He's a bit passive. He's indecisive. He's unbelievably talented. Brunson's pretty talented. Tough as nails. All grit. Villanova tough. Like they're like opposite players. One guy is just put on the work boots, head down, don't need marketing. Never forget Jalen Brunson, and you do not see this in the NBA much. Jalen Brunson's like, I'll take a little less money. I want to play with my guys. That is so Villanova. You know, Villanova, you go to Villanova, class is hard. You play defense. It's not one and done. Even with NIL, they're not going to pay you the most. Villanova is a culture. It's not just the name of a university. And that's what the Knicks play like. That's why they're so easy to root for. Like, not all New York teams are easy to root for. I get people that don't like the Yankees and the payroll. The Knicks are fun. And Brunson is the anti-Tatum. And Celtic fans know it. You could hear them early in the game getting uncomfortable. And I'm not an anti-Tatum guy. But for when I was saying this during the Olympics, I get it. A DNP coach's decision. When I've been saying this face of the league stuff, it's like I have defended the passive nature of Tatum. But, man, there's a reason everybody loves MJ. I mean, there is a reason. 6 for 6. He punched Steve Kerr. There's a reason why Kerr loves Draymond Green, who's limited athletically, who's limited offensively, but gives you everything, relentless. And so I thought it was fitting last night. As they were collapsing, I'm like, it's the perfect team and guy to collapse to. The Knicks. The less talented Villanova of pro basketball, resilient, tough. They go into your place. I'm looking at this. Clutch time numbers between Brunson and Tatum. I won't waste your time on all of these. Forget the fact Brunson's got twice as many points. Brunson's plus 18. Tatum's minus 16. Tatum's hurting his team. Brunson is sometimes exhausted, sometimes defensively gets, abused a little because of his lack of size, but he is never a detriment. Somewhere on the floor, Jalen Brunson's making your team better. Here's the Celtics coach after the collapse.
I think game one wasn't inefficient as I thought he just missed some really good looks. I thought today he passed up some ones that he was able to take. And so, their switchability, their ability to impact shifts definitely impacted him tonight. So, yeah, I thought he missed some easy layups in the beginning of the game. I thought he missed a couple there in the third quarter. But, they do a good OG Anunoby's a good individual defender, and they have good shifts and help behind.
Boston could have blown both these games to Indiana, and it wouldn't feel the same. And it's not just a Boston-New York thing. That's not it. It's the culture of the Knicks, which is, man, get a stop, get a bucket. Brunson, less money against analytics. It's who you're losing to, how you're losing, and the star of New York is the anti-Tatum, to me, at least emotionally. So, J-Mac, I thought of you on as I was watching this game with friends, sitting around a table with friends. Yeah. I kept thinking you were next door to place, yes, eating, at high-end sirloin.
All right.
And I kept thinking, he is having the time of his life. It was the place I was at. And again, it's L.A., so nobody likes Boston, but a lot of people in L.A. don't like New York either. It was just wild to watch people's reaction. It was like, the Celtics are collapsing in front of us, and they just kept hoisting up these awful shots.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers here. I know you crushed Tatum, and I get that. I will point out Celtics starters, 2 for 18 in the fourth quarter shooting. This is not only on Tatum.
No, it's not.
I'm surprised Joe Mazzulla escaped your opening rant here, because I don't know that he's going to survive the next 3 weeks. He's going to be fired.
Remember, if you're talking about face of the league, I don't care about Peyton Pritchard or Al Horford. Yeah. I don't care about Jaylen Brown. This is somebody that's the face of the league, and the team defends him when commentators are critical and everybody rushes to his defense. Okay. But then you got to, on fourth down, make the easy throw.
And here's the numbers on the screen. Tatum, fourth quarter and overtime. Not great, obviously. Not outstanding.
By the way, the critics, myself included, have always said he's a top 8 player.
I would go higher than that, but
I would not.
We have an 82-game sample size of Jayson Tatum for 4 straight years being first-team All-NBA.
Yeah.
82 games times 4. Oh, and he's been bad in 2 games. Like, I know you can't overreact.
No, that's not fair.
He
has been suspect throughout his career on a fairly regular basis in these moments.
I mean, last series against Orlando, he averaged like 31.
Okay, nobody cares about Orlando.
Fine. In the finals last year, he had 2 games of 31 points in the finals against the Mavs.
Is it a 2-game series?
2 out of the 5, he went off.
I watched them against Golden State wilt.
Yeah, that was a tough one. His first.
When you say Jayson Tatum, if you say, what is your knock on Jayson Tatum? Everybody has the same knock. Don't trust him late.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I get it. There's some evidence of that. He's also had some big Game 7s. I think he had 51 in a Game 6 against Milwaukee.
There's plenty of Boston reporters to tell you how mean we are, but it is really, when you put him against Brunson, they are opposite players.
You remember when they got Bridges, the Knicks? I was like, they match up great with Boston. And then it didn't bear out in the regular season. It has in the postseason.
I'll throw this at you.
And
why is it working in the postseason and it didn't in the regular season? This is my theory: is New York's a more physical team, and the NBA decides, look at how the physical teams. By the way, the Warriors defensively are physical. The T-Wolves against the Lakers were more physical. Mm-hmm. New York, even at practice, they're a more physical team than Boston. Boston's pretty. Boston's outside. Boston doesn't get to the free throw line. New York is in football terms, one of them's a passing offense, one of them is a run game. So the Knicks, as the NBA allows you to play in the postseason and get physical, I'm watching the first game and I'm like, oh, that's a blip. Yeah. But last night you're like, oh, this team's got a fullback. This team has double tight ends. They're playing double bigs.
I like how you referenced that Tatum dunk where he drove and you're like, oh, wow, that was spectacular. Watch Mitchell Robinson on that play. He was up way too far by the three-point line. Tatum dusted him. So on the next play, the game ending, Mitchell Robinson drops back. He's like, I'm conceding the jumper. And Tatum, he just kind of wilted there at the end. That was a tough one.
It's one thing to miss a final shot, but 2 of his last 3 shots were fall-aways on the baseline.
How about Mikal Bridges? Game 1, rips the ball out of Jalen Brown's hands at the end. Game 2, blocks Tatum's pass. He's great.
No, we all loved Mikal Bridges to the Knicks. We all said, okay, they finally have their wing defender who can give you 20 points on any night.
Knicks in the finals would be really good for the league, huh? A lot of content for this show. New York Knicks in the finals. I'm sure the
you'd be incorrigible.
Broussard and company, they'll be going to the games, right?
Oh, yeah.